When the universe is preparing to change your life, it never announces itself with noise. It whispers, it nudges. It places subtle signs along your path, signs that are visible only to a mind that is willing to slow down and see. Carl Jung believed deeply in synchronicity, the meaningful coincidences that appear when your inner world and the outer world begin to align. According to him, when your unconscious mind is ready for transformation, life begins to mirror that readiness back to you. That's when strange patterns appear. That's when unexpected shifts happen. And that's when 5 specific signs begin to show up. Not by accident, but by design. You might feel like nothing is changing, like you're stuck in the same routines, the same emotional cycles, the same old life. But beneath the surface, something is moving. Something is forming. Before transformation arrives, there is always a period where reality becomes unstable, not in a chaotic way, but in a symbolic way. Things that once felt normal begin to feel heavy. People who once fit into your life begin to drift away. Situations that once made sense suddenly start to feel out of alignment. These are not failures. These are messages. The universe speaks in symbols because symbols are the language of the unconscious. Jung said that your unconscious mind communicates through archetypes, visions, dreams, synchronicities, and intuitive signals. Whenever you ignore them, they grow louder. Whenever you pay attention, they guide you. But most people are blind to these signs because they are too focused on controlling the external world. They don't realize that true transformation always begins inside. Life does not change when the world around you shifts. It changes when the world inside you evolves. And once that inner shift begins, the universe responds. Suddenly, you begin to see the number 1111 or repeating patterns everywhere. Suddenly, people enter your life at the exact moment you need them, bringing messages that feel strangely relevant. Suddenly, opportunities arise that feel too aligned to be random. Jung called this the acausal connecting principle, meaning events that aren't logically linked still hold deep meaning. When the universe is preparing to change your life, you also experience discomfort, not the painful type, but the type that awakens you. You feel dissatisfied with the things you used to tolerate. You start questioning the roles you play, the relationships you maintain, and the beliefs you carry. This isn't negativity. This is the first sign of an internal shift. It means your old self is resisting because your new self is emerging. You may even feel isolated. You may feel like you're losing people, opportunities, or stability. But this loss is not destruction. It's clearing. Think of it like pruning a tree, cutting away what no longer serves growth. The universe removes what blocks your transformation long before it gives you what will elevate you. Many people panic when things fall apart, not realizing that collapse is often the preface to breakthrough. Jung said, "In all chaos there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order." What feels like chaos is actually restructuring. What feels like rejection is redirection. Another sign that change is coming is the sudden appearance of clarity. You start realizing what you want, or what you no longer want. Your intuition grows sharper. You feel drawn toward certain goals, places, or people for reasons you can't explain. It feels less like deciding and more like remembering. This is because your unconscious mind has already chosen the path. Your conscious mind is simply catching up. And then comes the most powerful sign, synchronicity. Something happens that is too meaningful, too precise, too perfectly timed to be dismissed as coincidence. You meet someone who says exactly what you needed to hear. You stumble upon a book, a video, or a message that answers a question you never voiced. You feel guided, almost as if invisible hands are adjusting the path beneath your feet. This is what Jung considered the moment of alignment, when the inner world and outer world harmonize. But here is the truth. The universe will not force transformation on you. It will invite you, guide you, and sometimes push you. But the choice to step into a new life is always yours. Fear will try to hold you back. Comfort will try to keep you where you are. But transformation requires courage. The courage to let go. The courage to trust the process. The courage to follow the signs even when they lead into the unknown. The 5 signs that you are about to discover in this video aren't abstract ideas. They are real psychological and spiritual markers that appear whenever a person is on the edge of personal evolution. They're not random. They're not accidental. They are evidence that the life you are meant to live is getting closer, that the version of you who has been waiting to emerge is stepping forward. If you are seeing these signs, it's not luck. It's alignment. It means your energy is changing. Your mind is changing. Your path is being restructured in your favor. And the universe, just as Jung described, is responding to your inner readiness. Nothing in your life will remain the same once you learn to recognize these signals. They are the doorway. They are the beginning. They are the universe's way of saying, prepare yourself. A transformation is coming. When the universe is preparing to shift your path, the first sign you'll notice is a deep feeling of disconnect. Not from life itself, but from the version of life you've been living. Carl Jung believed that when your unconscious mind begins to outgrow your current identity, you start feeling an internal conflict. You sense that something is off, even if you can't explain it. The things that once excited you feel dull. The people you once aligned with now feel distant. The routines you once followed, without question, suddenly feel too small for the person you are becoming. This isn't boredom. This is evolution. You begin to feel out of place in your own life. Like wearing clothes that no longer fit, you may look around and wonder, why doesn't this feel like me anymore? This is the universe quietly shifting your energy. It's preparing you to release the old so that the new can enter. And while this phase can feel confusing or even uncomfortable, it is one of the strongest indicators that transformation is near. Sign 2. You feel pulled towards something unknown. The next sign is subtle but powerful. An inner pull towards something you cannot clearly define. It feels like a quiet magnetic force guiding you toward a new direction, even if you don't yet know what that direction is. Jung called this the voice of the self, the higher part of your psyche that knows your true path long before your conscious mind does. You may suddenly feel drawn to a new skill, a new place, a new idea, or a new version of yourself. You may feel restless, like something is calling you forward but hasn't revealed itself fully. This feeling is not random. It is the psychological equivalent of the universe whispering, move, change is coming. Prepare yourself. Sign 3, old patterns begin to break. When you're on the edge of transformation, the universe disrupts repetitive cycles that no longer serve you. Relationships change. Habits crumble. Opportunities that kept you stagnant suddenly disappear. At first, this may feel like life is working against you. But Jung's teachings emphasize that the unconscious dismantles what is misaligned so that your conscious life can rebuild itself correctly. If you're noticing that old patterns are dissolving, whether by choice or by force, it's a clear sign that a new chapter is forming. Sign 4. You experience synchronicity more often. This is one of Jung's most powerful messages. Meaningful coincidences are never just coincidences. If you begin seeing repeating numbers, symbols, messages, or unexpected connections appearing at the perfect moment, it means the inner and outer worlds are aligning. Synchronicity appears when you're moving in the right direction, but haven't yet fully recognized it. Sign 5. You feel a mix of fear and excitement. Every major transformation begins with emotional tension and the feeling of being scared yet strangely hopeful. This mix is not a warning. It is confirmation. Most people think change begins outside, with new opportunities, new relationships, or new decisions. But Jung taught that every outer transformation begins with an inner awakening. These 5 signs don't just appear because life is changing. They appear because you are changing. They are signals that your unconscious mind has reached a new stage of growth. And now the external world must reorganize itself to match your inner evolution. Let's break down why these signs matter so much. 1. Your conscious and unconscious are aligning. Jung believed that the unconscious mind holds the blueprint of who you are meant to become. When you begin seeing these signs, it means the unconscious is pushing upward, trying to integrate with your conscious identity. That's why you feel restless, disconnected, or drawn to something new. It's your deeper self guiding you toward your next chapter. 2. The universe mirrors your inner state. When your energy shifts, your environment responds. This is why people suddenly leave your life, why old habits fall apart, and why synchronicity increases. What seems like coincidence is actually alignment. The outer world is reflecting your inner transformation. Even if you're not aware of it consciously, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are beginning to vibrate at a different frequency, and the universe rearranges circumstances to match it. 3. Old identities are being dissolved. Transformation requires shedding. Before you step into a new version of yourself, the universe will remove everything that belongs to the old version. This includes outdated beliefs, limiting habits, relationships built on your former identity, emotional patterns rooted in past pain. This phase can feel like loss, but it's actually cleansing. Jung described this as individuation, the process of becoming your true self. And individuation always begins with stripping away what no longer aligns. 4. Your intuition becomes stronger. As you evolve, your inner guidance grows louder. You begin to trust your instincts more than your fears. You feel drawn toward certain paths with an unexplainable certainty. This is because your intuition is now working as a bridge between your unconscious wisdom and your conscious actions. The universe amplifies this intuition through signs, symbols, and synchronicity, nudging you, guiding you, and confirming that you are moving in the right direction. Fear, excitement, confusion, curiosity. These emotions appear because your psyche is expanding. When you stand at the doorway of a new life, your mind senses the unknown ahead. But instead of stopping you, these emotions are meant to push you forward. Jung said, "There is no birth of consciousness without pain." This emotional friction is not punishment. It's growth. It's the psychological pressure that shapes your next identity, the transition phase, the space between old and new. Every transformation has a transition period, a space where the old version of your life has ended, but the new version hasn't fully begun. This is where the 5 signs become most intense. You feel called to something bigger. You don't resonate with your past anymore. You sense that something major is coming. This in-between stage can feel uncertain, but it is the most sacred part of the journey. It's the moment where destiny is being rewritten, where old timelines collapse and new ones open, where your future self is drawing you forward. You are being prepared. The reason these signs show up is simple. The universe is preparing you to release what holds you back. Embrace who you truly are. Step into a life aligned with your purpose, and meet opportunities you're finally ready for. Nothing about this process is random. Nothing about it is accidental. You are being positioned for a breakthrough, internally, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. Recognizing the signs is only the beginning. What truly changes your life is how you respond to them. Carl Jung believed that awareness without action leads to stagnation. But awareness followed by courage leads to rebirth. When the universe begins reshaping your path, you must participate in that transformation consciously. Here's how. 1. Stop resisting what is leaving your life. When people, habits, or situations begin drifting away, don't hold on in fear. Letting go is part of the transformation. What falls away is not meant to stay in the next chapter of your journey. Jung taught that clinging to the past keeps you trapped in an outdated identity. Release what no longer aligns. Free yourself for what's coming. 2. Trust your intuition. Even when logic doubts it, your intuition is the whisper of the unconscious, the deeper self that sees beyond the surface. If you're feeling guided toward a decision, a place, a dream, or a new direction, trust that inner pull. Your rational mind may not understand it yet, but your inner wisdom does. 3. Follow synchronicities instead of ignoring them. Don't dismiss meaningful coincidences. Write them down. Reflect on them. Often, synchronicity appears as confirmation that you are moving toward your true path. The universe communicates through symbols because symbols bypass the noise of the conscious mind. Prepare yourself mentally and emotionally. Transformation requires strength, not physical strength, but psychological resilience. As your identity shifts, you may experience moments of fear or uncertainty. Accept these emotions, but don't let them control your decisions. Jung believed that fear is simply a signal that you are entering unexplored parts of yourself. 5. Make space for the new. Change cannot enter a crowded mind or a cluttered life. Create space, emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically. This may mean journaling, meditating, walking alone, or spending time in silence. The more space you create within, the easier it becomes for the universe to guide you. 6. Take the first step, even if you can't see the whole path. Transformation rarely reveals itself all at once. You won't see the full picture in the beginning, and you don't need to. What matters is the first step. Jung wrote that the path to expansion begins with a single courageous act. When you act on your inner guidance, the next door opens automatically. 7. Align your actions with the person you are becoming. Stop acting from your old identity. Start acting from your future self, the version of you who is stronger, wiser, aligned, and purposeful. Ask yourself daily, What would the person I'm becoming choose right now? This single shift accelerates your transformation. When you recognize the signs and choose to follow them, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your life does not change in a sudden explosion. It shifts in a series of subtle, powerful realignments. Jung taught that true transformation is not a moment. It is a process, a rebirth, a merging of who you were, who you are, and who you are meant to become. This is what unfolds after you embrace the signals. 1. Your inner world becomes clearer. The confusion, anxiety, and emotional heaviness begin to fade. Things that once felt overwhelming start making sense. Your thoughts become more focused, your intentions stronger, your mind calmer. You stop living reactively and begin living consciously, with purpose, with clarity, with depth. This is the first sign that the transformation is working. 2. The right people begin to enter your life. Once you shift internally, your external world adapts. You attract people who match your new frequency, people who support your growth, challenge you, inspire you, and elevate your thinking. The wrong people lose access. The right people find you without effort. This is not coincidence. It's alignment. 3. Opportunities start appearing naturally. When you're aligned, you don't chase. Things flow to you. Doors that were once closed begin to open. Paths that were invisible become clear. Your goals seem to move closer, not because life is easier, but because you're finally walking the right direction. Jung called this state the unfolding of the self, when life supports your inner truth. 4. Your emotional strength grows. You become more grounded. You recover faster. You stop fearing loss, change, or uncertainty. The same situations that used to shake you no longer have the same power. This is because you're no longer living from wounds. You're living from wisdom. You are becoming the calm center of your own life. 5. Your purpose begins to reveal itself. Purpose is not something you find. It's something that awakens. It rises when you remove everything that blocks it. As your inner self comes forward, you start sensing what you're truly meant to do, not based on fear, ego, or expectation, but based on truth.